plaster,
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
and try to put my toes straight.
Right.
And and that's where I am right now.
All right. Good job. Good morning, Granny.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning, boy.
Gladys. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good morning, Cindy.
Oh, I'm very good.
Your toe is well today?
Huh?
Your toe is well today?
Yeah, I've been
Oh, okay.
I've been giving love to my toe.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Hi, Lily. Hi, everybody.
Really?
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing, beloved ones?
Highly favored.
Amen. Amen.
We did not receive any document for today's lesson.
We're still in the Master of Christ Conscious on page 182.
Oh, okay. Page one.
Creation of the soul. But I kind of want to go over a previous lesson. So before we start, does anybody want to do the affirmation, or did you do your affirmation this morning?
Oh, yeah. That one.
Did everyone do the affirmation?
Yes, we did. I did.
I did something else. I forgot what was the long affirmation from last week. So I just did me and my father are one.
All right. That's a good one too. And we want in these, we would like you to create your own affirmations, because affirmations confirm your beingness, but also within your affirmations are always connected to God as your main foundation, and then build all the other affirmations around that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when we come into this day in God, with God, by God, and for God, we live this day in God, with God, by God, and for God. And we live this day in God, with God, by God, and for God. And this morning, I decree that I am 1 month younger, healthier, happier, vibrant, energetic, and also more handsome in appearance.
You are worse than me.
You gotta have fun with it, right?
Okay.
Pastor, you want to be young forever.
I'm already young. Look at me.
We all will be. We all are.
Absolutely.
So this morning, what I said was, I asked for guidance, clarity, so that we will move on this path, right? Connecting with God and spreading the love, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not go outside. It's pretty cold in Vancouver now.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was sitting on my bed and then looking out the window and then looking into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was talking, and then so after while I was saying, I realized that trees are swaying. are swaying. Oh, okay. So I continued talking and asking, making the connection and everything. So it felt very good because I can feel that more grounded, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said last week, right? I guess I have already assigned my assignment for probably today or this week.
Right. Ooh, you're a good creator. Deliberate. Good thing. Anyone have any testimonies, any confessions, anybody ways? Anything at all? Hey, I need some help with anything.
Well, this morning I decided that there's nothing to fear about.
Absolutely.
There's nothing to fear about. I don't know why. Everything that's new coming to me, I feel afraid, and I tell myself, why should I be afraid?
Right.
So, yeah. Now anything new that comes to my sphere, I'm just going to handle it the way it is.
All right. With no fear, no judgment. And this is where we ask the question, does everybody know when we taught the lesson on all events are neutral? Do y'all remember that lesson?
Mm-hmm.
It was on page 16:9, I believe. Does everybody remember that one in the Mastery of Christ Consciousness?
Yes, yes. You see, Pastor, learning and practice is totally two different things.
Right. That's why we always repeat it so much over and over and over and over again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Does that make sense? So we repeat it over and over and over. That way it becomes a habit, because we have to change old habits.
Yeah, yeah, we have to change our habit.
And once you change the old habits, now you start creating the realities that you're wanting, or the desires that you're wanting. Does that make sense? But if you don't understand the events of neutrality, then it's hard to move forward, because you move in fear, doubt, unbelief, worry, anxiety, things like that. And those emotions stop what you're trying to manifest or create. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that?
Yep.
Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes, it's understood.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Do I need to go over it again, or are we good? Do I need to touch bases on it again, or no? All right, then we're going to move on to page 182 of Master of Christ Consciousness. And if you don't have it, let me know. I'll email it to you. And the first question we ask, and what we've been talking about, is what is creation? So when you are God creating, what are you creating? And we always pose the question, what do you want and why do you want it? And really get into the emotion of what that feels like and what that looks like. How many of you have practiced that?
Yeah.
We are still practicing and trying and perfecting it.
Good. Don't put so much emphasis on the perfection, just put emphasis on having fun creating.
Sometimes we forget about our emotions. We create, but we forget about our emotions.
Right. And when you forget about those emotions, you create from a place of unbelief, worry, doubt, because there's no clear thinking there. So now what happens is, when we ask the question, what is creation? It's whatever you want it to be. You decide what you are creating, and then you have to own that reality. So as God, you are the creator of that reality. Ask, and guess what? It's given. Step 3, you have to believe that what you've asked for has already been given to you, and then you have to get into the receive mode. This is the level of creation, or call it manifestation, or call it your desires, or call it a wish, or call it what you're wanting, whatever you want to call it. These are the same process and the same steps, but you have to recognize what creation is, because creation is ceaseless. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that? So as a ceaseless creator, you're always moving and always creating, but always remember this: create from a place of what? Unconditional what?
Love.
There you go. Because God only creates how?
And love.
Unconditional what? Love.
Love.
And if we're created in the image and the likeness of
Oh.
God, then we have all the attributes and the aspects of God, which is unlimited, ceaseless power.
Mm-hmm.
So when we call you God, it's not to puff you up or scare you or say this is blasphemy or anything like that, but to get you into the homecoming of the Father, Creator, Source, whatever you want to call him, and tap into that energy where Melissa made a great statement where I don't want to be in fear anymore. And How many times have y'all heard us say, get out of fear? Probably more times than we said it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can get you out of fear, then we get you out of judgment. If we get you out of judgment, then we get you out of separation of the things that you're wanting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, why'd that change mine?
Creating at that level of the spirit you're in. So on question number 2, what level of spirit are you operating in? Also, as God, you decide that level. So some people get frustrated. Some people get in anxiety. Some people get in whatever emotion they're in. And that is the level of spirit you're creating. In other words, what we're saying is that's what you're going to get back. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah, makes sense.
Can you repeat that?
Because we're too close to each other.
Here we go.
There's somebody's phone. There's a lot of distraction.
yeah, that's a feedback somewhere.
Yeah, that was Irene.
Okay, no. Bless her heart. Hello, darling. All right. Does anybody have any questions on what we're talking about when we say what level of spirit are you operating in? Because every day you wake up, you're going to affirm something, whether you call it an affirmation or not. Watch this. How many people have you heard wake up and say, I'm going to have a bad day, or I'm having a bad day? How many have said that?
I said it.
Many have said it, and you've heard other people say it. But now watch this. Whether you want to call it this, it's still an affirmation because you're affirming your being at that moment in the now. So now, every time you see it, what are they going to tell you? How bad they really is. And then what they're trying to do is justify why they're having a bad day. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what they also want you to do is do what? Join in with their complaining of how bad their day really is. So what level of spirit are they operating in? What level of spirit are they operating in? When you hear these things or you experience these things?
Fear,
Who said
negativity,
fear and negativity?
low energy.
Absolutely. Lower energy that don't feel good to the body, right? So when people are at that level of spirit, they are creating that reality and they're perceiving that experience. And then they will do what? Tell that story over and over and over until you say, no, I can't let you tell the story. Let's tell a different story. Does that make sense? Or how many of you, when they start complaining about their bad day, tried to change the conversation? Right?
All the time.
Or did you do on the opposite and join in on the conversation, and all of a sudden your day is bad when you was actually having a good day? And people, we can't change people and you can't change the world, but we're great influencers of one another. We influence each other extensively. For instance, somebody could wake up in the morning and have a great day and all of a sudden get a letter and read the letter, and something in the letter will be disturbing to them that will shift their whole perspective that day. Let's say they get divorce papers in the mail, or they get a judgment, or they get a lien against their property, or something like that. They've had a good day, but all of a sudden now, what level are they creating now? You see my point? So now, not only can you be influenced by people, you can be influenced by what? Things. And you don't want to say, I brought this into my reality. I'm the creator of my reality. And this is only temporary. But people will take a fearful thought, and out of that fearful thought creating, they'll have one similar thought that's like the first fearful thought, and they'll have a congruent thought that's fearful. Now there's a chain reaction of fearful thought. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Look, bro, what's going on? This is my extended family. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, hello.
Hi.
So, as we're creating those train of thought, we have to be careful because those thoughts are energies that are actually going to turn into what you're desiring and what you're manifesting. And what you're going to do is you're going to do two things. You're going to put a label on it, either good or bad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And out of that perception, you're going to live out that experience until you decide to change the perception of what level you're operating.
Question.
Go ahead.
Question. Can you repeat that when you receive the letter?
When you get a letter that has, let's say you wake up and you did all your affirmations and you prayed and you're in a great mood, and all of a sudden you get a letter that has bad news in it, what makes you shift your perceptual thinking? So now you did two things. You judged it, and out of the judgment of what you read, you became fearful of what you read. And now you created that experience, and that's the level of spirit you're operating in. So now you're operating at the level of fear. So now we're trying to turn the corner a little bit and say, well, this is where you know you've been possessed by demons because demons attack directly into your nervous system.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great indication of how it feels in the body as a tool of measurement. Call it an emotion.
So what should you think and what should you do when you receive that bad news?
How many of y'all have got that letter and blessed the letter and say, thank you, I'm glad I got this letter?
Yeah, and another way to think about that, I guess, is to consider Paul when he said, count it all joy.
Right.
Like, I'm beginning to look at things like that some time ago I may have been fearful, but I'm trying to retrain my brain and my heart and my spirit to say, okay, so what is God trying to tell me with this?
Right.
You know, something good is going to come out of this. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to have the faith and trust to know that this is a part of my journey and it's going to be all right. And
that's when you start understanding the level of creation. You know what? I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to fearful because as God, you being God, you in the world, you have the power to change it. Ask, it's given. But people don't believe that it's given to you because they don't see the physical manifestation because they're still holding the evidence. So now it would be hard to say now faith is the substance of the things we're seeing and the evidence of things hoped for, because now you're holding evidence of bad news. And then people go to God in prayer like this. Oh God, please help me with this right here. And is that a happy prayer or is that a scared prayer?
I'm sorry, what was the question again? I can't hear.
I said when people are holding the bad news, they go to prayer in fear. Oh God, please help me with this judgment. Oh, help me with this lien. Oh, help me with this bad news. Oh, help me with this whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they act as if God is going to fix it when it says to rejoice in what? Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody blessed the paper. Yay! Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody did it because what everybody did was you got that letter and they went and told everybody what was in the letter to confirm the bad news of the letter.
Mm-hmm. Creating more of a bad experience.
Exactly.
Experience, we're going to call it energy. And energy transfers where your attention flows. That's why we call it emotion, energy and motion.
Mm-hmm. So Pastor, when we look at something that we don't like, we're supposed to give it positive energy, vibration.
Bless it. Bless it.
Yeah, but the logical mind will be thinking that there's a deadline, right?
Right? But then what happens is, here's a good way to think of it. If you look at it and you don't decide to like it, what positive aspects can you do of loving it to release it?
Okay, so you give it, you bless it, you give it love, and then you change the vibration about it, and then your feeling about it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's called what? Recreate the thing again.
Your consciousness.
In any situation, you can always say, "This too shall pass."
Yes.
Go ahead.
I went through that yesterday.
I like to say that things are always working out for me.
These are affirming your beingness in the what? In your now. So at that moment that you perceive something that you don't like to be bad, you have the same freedom and free will to change it. So you know what? Okay, because I don't like it. Why don't I like it? Why did I attract this into my experience to say I don't like it? But nobody does that. Nobody wants to bring what experience brings to them. So before you do that, you have to ask the question, why is this in my experience and what am I learning from it? And I did bring it. So now, once I understand that, now I can bless it to release it. Because you can't change it.
Right.
You can't change it. All you can do is change your perception and move on and create something different. Does that make sense? So it all comes back to the original question of you're thinking about it and the emotion and the intention that you put into it. That's what's going to give it the driving force of it. And then at that point, this is where you determine what level of spirit you're operating in. High vibration, low vibration. Simple as that. You can even go human terms. Good day, bad day. And then we get into the neutrality where there are melancholy days. You ever had those days where you're just numb? You don't have no feeling whatsoever?
Yeah.
You ever ask yourself why you're in that place and you feel melancholy of no feeling good, bad, or otherwise you're just there?
It's because of the thoughts that you're entertaining that's making you feel that way.
That is part of it. And then you get to the point where, guess what? Something shuts down where you get tired of thinking that stuff and you got to hit the reset button. So in that place of melancholy, when you're not feeling anything, you're resetting the button to find a different emotion, because now what we've done is we stack all these piles around us and we put judgment on all the piles around us, and we got all these piles just mountain high around us and we can't get out of the piles. So now we got to get in there. I need to stop this resistant thinking of thought. I need to stop the flow of resisting, call meditation, however you want to call it. You're in that place of, okay, I'm not going to think of nothing. I'm just going to be neutral. And in this place of neutral is where I'm going to find my energy. This is where I'm going to find my freshness of breath. In this place of melancholy is I'm going to find the solution to these mountains that I've created. And then in that place, I'm going to take all these mountains and I'm going to put them in two piles only. Satisfying, not satisfying. That makes sense?
Yes.
You notice you come out of that place of melancholy and then you begin to shift your thinking and your perception. Does that make sense? So now we're teaching you how the spirit condenses and descends in terms of how you're creating. In other words, you'll feel it in your body. Melissa stubbed their toe and the whole body reacted. Right? You could have cried, boo-hoo, did all these things, but she made a powerful statement. She said, I'm going to heal myself. Praise God. Now we can all agree to that, and her healing will come faster and quicker and easier, but she's the one who heals. Physician, heal yourself. We can only affirm and confirm what she's doing when two or three are gathered. So now we can all positively say, Melissa's healed. and send her love, and we don't want her to be in pain, and show her compassion. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now all of us are operating at the same spirit level. Now we're consciously sending that out, and you'd be surprised of how fast those prayers are answered.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And always remember this, in all of this creation, one word we'd like to understand is always about extension. Everything's about your extension. Extension of creation is what you're doing. You're extending the experience because you're not going to be at that experience. Let me ask you a question. How many of y'all are at the same place you were 10 years ago?
No.
Definitely not.
I proved my point. You've extended yourself further in your creating of your own selves and your own being. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest, I really felt that we made a lot of progress with some of our students.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is a girl, and she had a lot of problems, her health problems, her mental problems.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think she's like 90 degrees change already.
Right.
So I'm waiting for the day where she's 180.
But look at that change. But now watch, here's the real question. I want everybody, and you can put it in any words, and this is not to put you on the spot, but what did you do to influence that young lady?
It's okay, it's physical, okay? Our coaching, our words, Sudi's motivation, you know. And then, of course, the background work is my work, where we keep sending her love. And she just changed gradually. Even she herself, she was surprised when I told her that when you look at your picture, don't you think that you look better now?
Right.
And she go like, oh yeah, I like my smile now.
Right. Look at how you planted that seed. Remember we said you plant seed? And don't plant the seed and start shouting at the street to grow.
That's what I would do.
But most people are so urgent, they want to plant the seed. Where you at, fruit? Where you at? Grow, grow, grow. But you said something important. You kept continuing. Once you planted that seed, you continue to shower with love. Continue to shower, and it was a gradual, you could see a gradual process or progression in this young lady's physical and mental composure and even thinking, to where she didn't comprehend things, but now she's comprehended them on a whole nother level. And now, watch this, because she's feeling good about herself because of self-care, now she can heal her own body of that ailment. Can't serve two masters. Melissa can't be happy and cry about the toe. Can't do both. Choose one. You're either gonna cry about it and get over crying, then think about something else to focus on. Because I guarantee you, when you go to bed, you're not gonna feel the pain of that toe. The body's gonna go numb. You get a happy moment or read something that disturbs you, that pain in that toe goes away because the attention goes with that. That is a human nature, that's human response. This is part of your creative dance in the mind of God, of what you have to experience at that moment. Does that make sense? And I know we're saying the same thing, but if you really look into what the body's doing, you'll feel it within the physical body. Literally. And that should be your indicator. One of the sisters that we talked to yesterday was having an issue with her son, and she got into despair. And out of despair, made a choice. But then found how creative her choice was when she found out, okay, this is not a good choice for me. So let me change my choice. But in the process of changing the choice, she stayed in love and found out a better result of what she was looking for. She had asked ultimately for peace, but had to go through chaos and hell to get to peace. But it was a gradual change in her thinking. It was a gradual change in her energy. It was a gradual change in the perception that she had looked at. She didn't do the old woe is me. And she didn't point the finger at everybody else and say everybody else is sorry. And this is what people tend to do, is pass on those things to other people and want them to co-sign with them as co-creators. And that makes not how the mind of God works. Once you understand that there is no separation between the pain of your toe and your happy hand, and it's all part of the same joint, then you can begin to hear yourself much simpler and quicker and quicker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The thought is to have a pure thought, and out of that pure thought, have the pure potential that's there of what you're wanting. If you get that potential, now you shift your mindset. So in other words, I give, okay, for example, when I told Melissa about when I got struck in the eye, how long did it take to heal?
2 days.
2 days. I showed her the physical evidence where before it would have probably took a week if I would have thought about it. But when I got poked by my son, I rejoiced. Yeah, I got poked in the eye. It hurt. Yes. I feel it. Oh my God, I'm so happy I got poked in the eye. It's red, it's itchy, it's scratchy, it's painful, it's watery, it's swollen. I can't see out of it now. Everything looks like triples. So now I'm seeing 4 things, 1 good eye. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was a matter of the perception of saying, you know what, I brought this into my experience, and I'm okay with this experience because life happens. Doesn't life happen?
Yeah. That's a nice way to say it.
That's part of life. Be happy when those things of life happen because it's only temporary. Those two shall what? Pass.
Mm-hmm.
45 days to a year from now, she'll have another one, another boo-boo. She'll bump her elbow. She'll hit her funny bone or something. Somebody will hit their head or something. Somebody will drop a rake and walk outside and the rake will hit them in the face. You have to laugh when these things happen. Pastor, it hurts. Yes, but also rejoice.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not going to hurt forever. Right? So, this is how we want to look at how your soul, and the next one is, what is your soul? What is the soul? Does anybody know what the soul is?
The soul is your consciousness.
All right.
It's your inner self.
Oh, yes.
It's the part where you can connect with God, I guess.
Yes. Ascended master all day long, God. See, that's a God answer right there. So anybody disagree with that? If so, I'll help you understand it.
No, isn't it synonymous also with higher self?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Everybody puts all these labels and titles on it, but you're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody will say Allah, somebody will say Buddha, somebody will say Jehovah, somebody will say Jesus, somebody will say Bob.
The Tao, the Ching.
Whatever, but it's all trying to describe the one that we're all trying to get back to.
Yes.
But everybody's describing it in their own unique, individual way.
Yes.
This is, at the end of the day, okay. But where people start having a problem is they start putting labels and things on it. Well, hey, I'm the church of this and I'm the church of that. And if you don't come to this church, you're not going to heaven. If you don't follow this type of doctrine, you got it all wrong. And now they've missed the point. So now the soul is now what? Is it confused, right?
Yeah, getting very confused.
The soul then begins to condense into that. That's why people have, I feel, very small-minded type mentality or low self-esteem. The young lady that they were talking about that she was seeing had low self-esteem because of the appearance. Because of that, it ultimately affected her learning ability.
True.
And reflected outwardly. But now, once they reinforce her soul, it begin to do what? Expand. It's happy. When you walk into a room, do you realize your soul fills that whole room up?
Yes.
Just like if you walk into a room that's full of tension, you feel that tension. And then automatically, all you little gods, big gods, whatever you want to call yourself, start scanning the room for that person who's emitting the tension. And then you either want to fix that person or run away from that person. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
So now, look how powerful that soul is when it enters the room. In each room you enter in, the energy changes. You ever live in a 2-story house and go in the summertime? On the bottom level, heat does what? Rise. So if I go upstairs, the temperature of that room is going to be what?
Hotter.
The atmosphere changes, so I change with that. Watch this. My physical body begins to do what if I don't have air on? Sweat. But if I go downstairs and I got the air conditioner on, my soul fills that spirit up and it becomes what? Cool. What happens to my physical body? Starts drying up. Your spirit is just like that when you leave your house and you encounter every other conscious being. That's why sometimes you'll get a thought, then you go, where is that thought coming from? That is not my thought. Or you'll have what they call a deja vu. Because your souls are interconnected with other souls, because at the end of the day, we're all one. So here's an example that we gave. On page 182 at the very bottom where it says, perhaps you've seen the television commercial. When the beverage is poured into the glass in slow motion, as the beverage hits the glass, it begins to move back up the side as the cup begins to fill. And at the last moment, when the container is tilted back and the pouring has stopped, the motion has been started, creates the phenomenon of filter drop of beverage which arises, and for a very temporary moment seems to become separated from the body of beverage in the container. Emerges, and in a split second, you who are watching the screen have the awareness of an individuated drop of beverage that seems to exist completely independent of the body of beverage itself. Then in the moment it drops back into the body of beverage, you lose awareness of it as a separate thing, a separate drop of beverage. But it's still what? Beverage. From your place of perception, it merely looked as though it had separate existence. Now, this is an analogy, of course, since the soul is not made of beverage, but it does create a picture for you which occurs when spirit continues into entertainment of creativity, out of which emerges what we have called the soul, first subtle inception of the thought, individuated of that which is individual expression of the fullness of spirit, which is light, which is God. That's your soul. Everybody understand? Yes, no, maybe so.
The Buddhists would say that we are droplets of water.
Yep.
And the ocean is like God. So we are just taken away, but in reality, we are trying to go back to the ocean.
Absolutely. That is the exact same concept.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is it's all about getting back into the what? Father. Me and my Father are what? One. In other words, we don't want you to separate yourself from God, which you can't separate yourself from him anyway if you wanted to. In your mind, you can perceive to, just like you can perceive yourself separate from another being. But at the end of the day, they have a soul just like your soul. It ain't special. All created equally with the soul, all have different individual gifts. Make sense? So it drops. Now watch this. We're going to add this that we didn't write, but in each of those drops of pebbles of that water, we're going to say, in that drop is God, and there's ultimate power in that one drop. Unlimited power in that one drop. When it gets back into the big ocean, it emerges back into itself. Did everybody get that? So when the body dies, the spirit leaves and it returns back to where? To be absent from the body is to be present in the Lord.
Yeah.
That's that droplet. So as your spirit or soul leaves the body, it's like going from one room to another. That's the energy of exchange. It's eternal. This dance of entertainment of creatives is always never ending. But here's the good thing about it. You're the author of it. And not only the author of it, you create the character, the plot, and the storyline. You are it. Everybody understand that? So that
We're
is
the director, the producer, the actor.
all
our creation.
All of it. All of it. So here's the question. Why? Why? Why this? And we give you the answer. All for the joy of extending creation that one might be aware of itself in an endless variety of form. This is the delight of creation. That is what you are. In pure soul, there is still only pure potentiality. There has not yet been what you would know as experience. There is, however, first subtle awareness of the one self being aware of itself. Everybody get that, or did it go over everybody's head?
Now we're kind of like getting to know.
We're always repeating the same thing. We just use different stories. We use your stories and testimonies to help understand who you are and the power that you have and the ability that you have. So you know what? Every experience that I'm experiencing, I am the creator of that to understand myself. Every life experience, did you learn more about them or did you learn more about yourself? When life hit you with a curveball, did you learn more about life or did you learn more about yourself?
Learn more about yourself.
So this is the first subtle awareness of the one self being aware of itself. Now that droplet comes back into the awareness of I am God and me and God are one, and greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. Now understand that we're no separate. There's no separate. There's no separate. We're one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
If there's no separation, and but we're still handling the problems, right? See, no separation. Even we are having the problems. We don't see. We have no judgment. So when you are in that emotion or in that situation, of course, we are. I would be able. I would tell them. I would tell the people, the person involved. I mean, that you are dealing with. You would how you try to talk himself, put some sense into the head, or what? You get it. You see, for instance, if I am quarreling with someone, okay, that person is quarreling with me, okay, and And I don't see any separation. We are one. We see all of him as one.
Right.
No separation, okay? But obviously, he sees separation because he's angry, he has his ego, and and those emotions.
Right.
So at that point, what I could do, because I don't see separation. I just see that that person probably would have a different thinking, or the person who most would have already misunderstood, you know.
Right. And here's what we were saying. Remember in lesson number 9, all events are neutral on page 69. I'm gonna read it real quick. It says, your lived experience is that momentarily your attention is focused on your unique world. There are some things in common with many others, or not in common. You have what you call in your world consensus reality. We would say a consensus experience.
Sir, sorry, I cannot hear very proper because there's distraction.
Let me see if I can move. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when you are in that moment of saying, I am not separated from this person, and you see them as separate, here's what we want you to understand. We're going to answer it a different way. When you stand face to face with anyone just for a split second, you alter the position of the body, and when you gaze upon them in their eyes, that perception. This is how when we say you can't change people and you can't change the world, but you influence, okay? You influence from a new perspective in that split second for them. How do they see the God in you? How do they want to see themselves in you? You see what I'm saying? What have you created new in your experience with that person in that moment? Even though they're in judgment, they're in separation, they're hating you, they don't like you, they can't stand you, how do you still stand in love with them?
I guess you can only do the thing about you're not being judgmental, you're doing it unconditionally.
Absolutely.
And you can only keep sending the vibration of love.
Absolutely.
And you will kind of soften that person. That person might not understand you, but it kind of softens that person. The person will kind of calm down.
Absolutely. Do y'all remember Anson's testimony? And we love this story so much, and we thank him for it. When he was on the plane on his way back with the grumpy man, and everybody felt the tension on that plane from the grumpy man. And Anson sent him so much love, and he saw within hours gradual change to the point where him and the man are having great conversation, one with another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Anson would have went and talked to him where he was without sending that love, how do you think the conversation would have went? Man would have complained about everything that was going wrong with him, up until the point where he got on the airplane and he didn't like his seat. And then he had the little kid behind him that was kicking the seat.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had the woman that was coughing and sneezing. And then he had the woman with the crying baby. And then the rude steward. We're making this up, but you see what I'm saying? He could have easily fell into, oh my God, why did I come over here and sit down and talk to this guy? Oh my God, how do I get out of this situation? And many times we find ourselves in those situations where people are trying to separate themselves from us, not realizing there's no separation. So when you send them that love and continue to send them that love, you'll see that gradual change in those people. But here's the thing, it's a practice. It's a practice. A farmer is not going to get the same harvest every year. He's going to get something different every year based on the climate, based on the water, based on what's in the soil, and all these other variables. And it's the same thing when you're creating. You have all these variables that go into that web of relationship. So how you see yourself from another determines who you are. So here's what I do. Call me crazy, but each time I meet you or you or you, I see I'm meeting myself. You remember when we practiced 30 days of unconditional love? When we practiced those 30 days of unconditional love, you had to see another in love, and you had to find ways around your judging them, which was a releasing of yourself from separating them from you. So now when they're trying to separate from you, you can just chatterbox away and just have a good conversation because you send them that love, and they'll respond in that way where you're an old soul. Who told you I was an old soul? You're a young man. I'm 27. And the shock factor shocks them. But now the seed that was planted from that perception, when the man left the plane from that long journey, what was his attitude? Joyful, happy. So now he didn't go home and kick the dog and slap the wife. You see what I'm saying? He was able to go tell a better version of that horrible story because the seed was planted, and that energy was taken into every place that he had went to, shared amongst other energies who confirmed, because I guarantee you, here's what happened that Anson doesn't know. There was another person who came in and helped fill in that story to help continue that satisfaction, because that's the law of attraction. Always, always, always. Somebody came and complimented him or gave him a break or gave him a discount or something to just enhance that moment that he was feeling of being happy, to go further and further and further. Does that make sense? So now he got rid of the illusion of separation, and now he stopped cursing himself. He went from cursing himself to blessing himself. All on a simple conversation that had nothing to do with his problems. Apples and a big old pumpkin. You see my point? So this is where the first subtleness of awareness of the one self being aware of itself comes into such factors. Anson saw himself in the grumpy man and he didn't want himself to be grumpy. How about if we say it that way? You didn't want yourself, daughter, or the young lady, you didn't want that young lady, yourself, to suffer, and now yourself is 90% better. Everybody benefits. Does that make sense? So it's a win-win situation for everybody. Y'all see the manifestation of her increase, and she feels it not only in her spirit, but she sees it also in her physical body. Transformation. That makes sense? Questions, comments, concerns before we close? We good? All right. Well, let's close with our affirmation. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We come into this day in God, with God, by God, and for God. And we live this day in God, with God, and by God, and for God. We will close this day in God, with God, by God, and for God. We're declaring this afternoon, or whatever part of the world you're in, whatever you are, you shall be, and it shall be established. And so it is. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
We love you all. We thank you all for coming, beloved ones, and you have a great day creating, and enjoy yourselves. And we will talk to you tomorrow for those who will be joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.